Hello guys, welcome back to another video. I'm going to go through the BBC gossip page again. I'm joined here by my mate Pete, big Newcastle fan. He's on the Loaded Mag NUFC YouTube channel as well. Pete, man, Newcastle making moves. We're going to go through it in a second, but how you doing, bro? You good?
Yeah, all good. I can't complain. Just looking forward to talk about football.
Well, let's get straight into it then, because the first one is actually about Newcastle. Newcastle hope they can complete a £35 million move for Leicester City winger Harvey Barnes to beat Aston Villa and West Ham to the 25-year-old England international signature. That's from The Guardian. I tell you something, mate. I've always rated Barnes. I think he's a great player. I think, actually, if he would have got a move a few years ago, I think his potential would have been even further. I actually think he's been sort of held back at Leicester because of how bad they've been over the last year or so. Are you happy with this move? Surely you're happy with this move.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to lie. First off, I'm surprised it's happening because in the last few weeks, it's all been built up to like West Ham using the Rice money and Villa potentially coming in. And I'll be honest, we've been linked with the likes of Diaby, Chiesa, and one or two others. So it's kind of come a little bit left field from one point of view. But look, as you said. Absolutely right. He's a quality player. I actually agree with you. I think he's been held back being at Leicester. I think he should have moved a couple of years ago when he was in the height of his performances. But surprisingly, not all Newcastle fans have been in kind of favour of this. There has been a small.
I can understand that.
For me, it's strange whether we're just that small section of the fan base are just expecting us to be going for all these top level.
That's what it'll be. That's what it'll be, man. I can guarantee you that's what it'll be. People who, now you've got the money, expect the Neymars of the world, the Chiesas, the nice, glamorous names. However, this is a really astute signing. He's 25 years old. I think the price you're getting him is at a good price. And I think Eddie Howe can do bits. And I think he'll build that squad up for you. You know, when we've spoken before on 12-Man podcast, and I've said to you, I think it's important for Newcastle to build that squad up because I think that they're going to obviously compete for the top four. They're going to want to try and get out the group stage. I think they're going to go for a trophy again and try and win one. It's going to take its toll. And I think for me, the main thing is building out that squad. But I think it's a great signing.
You know what? You made a really good point there, and it kind of links to what you guys did at City because when you brought in the likes of like Gareth Barry and like Craig Bellamy and players like that, like at that stage, that was part of those building blocks, weren't it? They weren't the right up there established, the Carlos Tevez's, for example.
Correct.
Yeah, player that did a job and helped you move to that next stage. And like you said, the potential of Harvey Barnes is there. He's a quality player, and I'm excited by the fact that can potentially happen.
Absolutely. France striker Kylian Mbappe thinks he might have to leave PSG this summer as he's still not planning to extend his contract beyond 2024, and the 24-year-old preferred option is to join Real Madrid. That's from ESPN. We've also seen some links to Manchester City. Is Kylian Mbappe going to go to Manchester City? I don't think so. I don't think he'd fit into our team at the moment. But you know what? People slag Kylian Mbappe off all the time, yeah. But I think he's played an absolute blinder, mate. He's signing these little shitty 2-year contracts. He's getting pay rises. PSG are forced to give him loads of extra money because they can't allow him to leave on a free contract. And I think he'll sign another 2-year contract this summer because PSG they can't allow him to leave on a free, bro.
Yeah, it's a mad one. And yeah, I won't put it past Kylian Mbappe moving to Real Madrid this summer as well, because they look PSG. You're absolutely right. They need to get a fee for him. They need a fee. They've even threatened apparently that they're gonna, if he doesn't sign the deal, they'll have to sell other better players in the squad to kind of recoup some of that money that they would have got if he'd have been sold, which is just a mad situation to be in. But Kylian Mbappe, for me, I don't see him going anywhere else but Real Madrid when he leaves PSG, whether it's this summer, next summer, 2 years' time, I've no idea. But at some point, he's going to want to leave. I think he's, 23 now, 24? He's getting to that age where he needs to make the step up, a little bit like what Ronaldo did when he left Man United and went to Real Madrid. You get to a point where you think, you know what, I've done my job. I need to get out of here and move to the next stage. He deserves to, in my opinion, deserves to win a Ballon d'Or, but he ain't winning one at PSG. He has to go to the elite.
I agree. And obviously, you just said that about Real Madrid. Sky Sports are saying PSG believe Mbappe has already agreed to join Real Madrid on a free transfer next summer. And if he does not sign a new deal with the French champions, they will sell him to the highest bidder this summer, regardless of who it is. And then obviously a little bit of positive news here for Arsenal. I don't know how true it is. But it says Mbappe's first preference if he were to move to the Premier League would be Arsenal. But he's beyond the budget of the Gunners and has no contact been made between the parties. Apparently, he don't want to come to England anyway, so I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, I think you're right. I think if he does leave, I don't see him coming to City. You know, him and Haaland with Pep Guardiola would be something special to watch, but I don't see it. I think you're right. I think he's going to go to Real Madrid. Atletico Paranaense have given Barcelona an ultimatum to complete the signing of Brazil forward Victor Roque, with the Manchester United, Tottenham and PSG still in contact with the Brazilian club and willing to pay triple the salary offered by Barcelona. Mundo Deportivo. I guess you probably don't know much about him because
Well, we were linked with him.
Were you?
Yeah. Back in January, there's a few Brazilians that we've been linked with. If I'm honest with you, Mateus Franco was another one. Andreas Santos, who's actually gone to Chelsea. Mateus Franco, who's now in negotiations with Chelsea. Chelsea just seem to be nicking all the Brazilians that we're interested in. Victor Roque was another one, but as soon as Barcelona came in, there was only one club he's going to go to. Yeah. I don't see him coming to the Premier League now that Barcelona have showed their intent and that they want him. I do think that they'll get that deal over the line, but a super talented player.
Interesting. Portugal forward João Felix is keen on a move to PSG, but he could end up staying at Atletico Madrid, who want 100 million euros for the 23-year-old. That's from AS in Spain. Yeah, his career has just sort of fallen off since he made that move to Atletico Madrid. Still don't understand why he'd go for it. Any room for João Felix at up at a 2? What do you reckon?
Not for me. He's a quality player. Like, he's a talented boy, but for me, I don't know where he fits in. I still don't know where his best position is now. Like, he was a young prodigy coming through. I still don't know where his best position is. But what was more interesting, I don't know if you saw it, he had pictures of him training in the West Ham top.
Yeah, I seen that. What else was that? Benrahma. What the hell's that about?
Madness. I haven't done.
Crazy, man. Inter Milan are stepping up their pursuit of Tottenham keeper Hugo Lloris as they line up the Frenchman to replace 27-year-old Cameroon international Andre Onana, who is a target for Manchester United. That's from Foot Mercato. Yeah, it seems to me that this Onana deal to Man United is going to get done any day now. They just need to pay that cash. And, of course, Lloris is finished now at Spurs. So I think these are good moves for both Tottenham and United. I think, you know, both clubs needed to, in my view, get rid of the keepers and get new ones in. And they're making their moves. United making a bit of a mess of it and sort of not doing it cleanly, but they are getting the job done, which I guess is the main point, right?
Yeah, they can't argue it. Man United are doing some good stuff in the market. I've got to be honest, Onana is a quality.
He's good, isn't he?
Yeah. For me, he's an upgrade on De Gea. So, you know, for as much as some of the Man United fans moan about their business and they've not got the takeover and blah 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 blah, they're not doing too bad. They're not doing too bad. There's a lot of other clubs in the Premier League that were desperate to be in their position right now.
Oh yeah, 100%. And Onana's going to allow Ten Hag to play the type of football that he wants, which David De Gea, because he was so bad on the ball, wasn't. Big one here, actually. Borussia Dortmund are keeping track of former winger Jadon Sancho's situation at Manchester United, although the 23-year-old is believed to want to stay at Old Trafford. That's from Sky Sports in Germany. Sancho obviously making that move to Man United a couple of years ago. It's gone really, really badly for him. His stocks are really low right now, unfortunately, because he's a top player. And so much so that he even had to take a break. It got that much to him, which is never good to see. And, of course, a serious situation. What do you think is best for Jadon Sancho? Let's forget about United. So Jadon Sancho, Pete, is it right to stay there? Do you think actually he needs to move away, even if it's just a loan move? If you was his agent now, just sort of getting back on that career path upwards, what would you be advising him to do?
You know what? It's a really, really interesting one with Jadon Sancho for a lot of reasons. For me, I would be, if I was his agent, I'd be looking to get him back to Germany, where he played his best football, where he made his name effectively. Mm-hmm. I actually think Germany in the Bundesliga is better suited to his game. There's elements of his game that I've seen since he comes to the Premier League that isn't as refined as what I thought. You know, there is a lack of pace there, and you need pace in the Premier League, particularly in the position that he plays in. Technically, he's fantastic. He's obviously had his problems. going to another country and maybe starting and having a bit of a refresh would be the right thing. At the very most, I would be saying to Jadon Sancho, one more year. At the very most, one more year at Man United. Now they've got Ten Hag and he's got his second full season in. Can you now break through and be the guy that they paid so many millions for you to be that guy? If it's not quite working out, then I'd be saying, look, you need to move on. We in the Newcastle circles have been talking about Sancho. We'll be taking him at 45 million. Some are not so sure. Some have still got their Borussia Dortmund minds on and seen what he's doing. Go, yeah, definitely. I don't know.
So it's a difficult one, mate, because it's sad, isn't it? Because he's been playing so well at Borussia Dortmund, and I seen him at the City Academy, and he was fantastic there. And it's a shame. I think he went to the wrong club in Manchester. I think at City would have done a lot better because we dominate the ball and we just sit on the edge of opposition. And there, you mentioned his lack of pace. It's not really an issue. But you look at Mahrez, for example, Grealish. These are not fast players, but they work in our system because we dominate the ball. I think he chose the wrong team. But what I would say is, the more that Ten Hag gets this team playing how he wants, the more that Sancho will probably get better, in my view. But look, it's an interesting one. A bit more on United here, Pete. United boss Eric Ten Hag is intent on offloading Sancho as well as Harry Maguire, Fred, and Scott McTominay. We've seen a couple of days ago that Ten Hag apparently wants 11 players to go. There's a lot to do at that football club. Do you think that he can get this team fighting for the title this season, or do you think there's a little bit too much?
Personally, I don't see them being title challengers. I'll be honest with you. Obviously, they finished third. They finished ahead of us, and great season for them. Won a cup, FA Cup final. But at times in the season, I'd look at Man United and think, how are you there?
Yeah,
I see some of their performances. I was like, they were not good, but their clean sheets, being hard to break down, particularly at home, that they've improved on that. And I think they'll be up there challenging for top four, no doubt about it. But I don't see them having a title tilt, if I'm honest with you. Yeah. But they've got a lot of players that they need to shift out. They've got a lot of what I'll say is, in short, they're going in the right direction. They're getting rid of all the dead wood, all the players that have been there for far too long, and then moving on, moving up with better quality players coming forward.
I agree. Sporting Lisbon have agreed a deal worth 24 million euros with Coventry City for 25-year-old Sweden striker Victor Gyökeres. That's from Fabrizio Romano. This guy's apparently meant to be a big slammer, and obviously look at the fee. That fee's crazy. But you see much of him, mate? Because I've not seen much of him. But I did a stream with who did I do? Joe, the Leeds fan, and he was saying, "Now he's a big striker." Have you seen much of him yourself?
Only the back end of the season. I know he'd been talked about all season, but only towards the back end. And obviously they got to the playoff final, so got to watch him in a bit of detail there. He does look like the championship was like he was too good for the championship. I'm surprised that a Premier League club hasn't come in more kind of severely to pluck him out of Coventry. But a lot of people are saying that they would not be surprised that in a year's time he comes back to England, but for like 60 million. Like that's the potential that he's got, because they fully expect him to go to Sporting and just tear it up. Which if he does, fair play to him, because
be interesting to see. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see his development. Last few now, guys. Atletico Madrid coach Diego Simeone is set to reject a lucrative offer from manager's Saudi Arabian club Al Ahly to stay with the Spanish side. Obviously, Atletico Madrid, Diego Simeone just is part of the furniture there, isn't he? And I don't think he's ever going to leave, to be honest with you. You got some more news here on Greenwood. No one really knows what's happening with him either. At Atlanta. This is an interesting one because this guy's career just fell off, and at some points you feel like serves you right, and then other times you feel a little bit sad for him. England midfielder Dele Alli has returned to training with Everton as he aims to get his career back on track, with Toffee's boss Sean Dyche having told the 27-year-old he needs to get fit. That's from the Daily Mail. He's only 27 years old now. We all know there's a player in there, right? He's a good player, yeah. And I don't think now he's ever going to be able to reach the heights that I think he probably could have done when you looked at him as a 21, 22-year-old. But I still think he can go on and have a decent career for the next 4, 5, 6 years, whatever. But he has to focus, don't he, Pete? He has to get his head down now and focus on the football. There was pictures and videos of him in Manchester, actually, doing balloons and all that kind of shit, and, drinking vodka and all that kind of shit. Well, I think the season was still going on. he's got to get rid of all them people who are wanting to do that with him, and he's got to focus on the football. And if he does focus on the football, I think he's still a good player, but he has to focus on the game, man.
I have no idea what's happened with him. It's clearly something outside of the game that's affected him.
Yeah.
Something must have majorly happened, because the switch off from what he was doing at Tottenham to where he is now is just like the fall from grace is unbelievable. And like you said, he's a super talented player. It wasn't long ago that we talked about Real Madrid paying 80, 100 million for him.
Yeah.
And like you said, I don't think he'll ever get back to that stage. However, what I do think is that, Everton's not the right club for him. He needs to move on from them, because they're for me. I think they're going to be in another relegation battle. Me personally, next season, that's not a club where you want to be. But at the same time, you've got to put the performances in for other clubs that are higher up to go, yeah, I'm going to take a chance on you. So he's in a difficult position. But for his sake, I really do hope that he gets back to his best or close to his best, because he wasn't just a good quality player for the Premier League, but also for England. He had big
true.
England too.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it's a shame to see this. Like I say, sometimes you look at these players and you think, serves you right, and then on the other hand, you're like, it's sad, man. Lee Carsley, obviously, he was formerly at Manchester City as the academy manager. He's set to stay on England 21 manager after he led the side to the final of the UEFA 21's Championship, which is, I think, tonight, actually, at 8 o'clock. Yes. That's from the Daily Mail, so good luck to them. And finally, former Chelsea defender John Terry said he's returned to the Stamford Bridge and is working in the academy. So there we go. That rounds it up. The big news, really, though, is Mbappe. What's Mbappe going to do? Is he going to stay at PSG? Is he going to go to Real Madrid? Is he going to run down his contract? And Harvey Barnes, £35 million deal to Newcastle. Feeling good ahead of the season? Obviously, a couple of weeks away now, mate. Not too far away. You feeling good? Pre-season is almost there.
Yeah. We've got Tonali in, which I'm absolutely buzzing about. Harvey Barnes to add to that. We're improving areas of the squad that we needed to improve, ready for the season. Look, we've got probably the hardest start of the season compared to anyone else in the league. We've got Liverpool, yourselves, Villa on the first game of the season. I think we've got Brighton away after that. Like, it's a tough start, first 5 games. But if we can get through that, we're in a great position to tackle the rest of the season, in my opinion.
Now, it's going to be interesting, man. I'm looking forward to it. Fixtures are out. TV fixtures are out as well. So it's all getting real. Guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this little roundup on this fine Saturday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Make sure you drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Go and check out Loaded Mag and UFC as well on YouTube. You guys are closing in on 6K, right?
Yeah. Just under 200 now. We're nearly there, and we're on the rise.
There you go, guys. And obviously, Newcastle in the Champions League. Let's see how they get on. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Give us your comments in the comment section below. And I'll see you tomorrow, guys. See you later.